Have you ever swapped spit with a pup? Can you picture yourself waking up to your ex giving your toes a midnight tongue bath? I'm Zombie Cats. Now, grab my hand and chant, talk to me. Let's dive into this fresh, spooky realm together. The movie kicks off with a teenage party where Dakota, after some supernatural shenanigans, spirals into madness. Armed with a blade, he stabs his brother before taking his own life. That leaves the two brothers, already grappling with the recent loss of their father, in an even deeper abyss. Joining them in the confusion triggered by the departure of loved ones is our leading lady, Mia. The passing of her mother, coupled with her father's less than articulate manner, intensifies the oppressive atmosphere at home. Mia's mental state takes a nosedive, often prompting her to seek refuge at her buddy Jed's place rather than returning home. One day, Mia received a call asking her to pick up Jed's brother, Riley. On the way, they encountered a dying kangaroo hit by a car. Riley wants to call a vet to save it, but Mia insists it was too late. She has another idea, to end the kangaroo's suffering. However, when the crucial moment arrived, she can't press the gas and turned away, hoping the next passing car might save it, though she pretended to be nonchalant. I can sense the guilt in her heart. Back at home, Mia wanted to seek comfort from Jed, but deeply immersing in the love river, she is too busy texting her boyfriend Daniel and giving him perfunctory replies. When Daniel calls Jed, Mia becomes even more awkward, as Jed's current boyfriend happens to be Mia's ex-boyfriend. Indeed, you guys are the closest friends. Next, Mia wants Jed to accompany her to a party where they would play a trending online game called Talk to Me. Mia is very interested, and couples with the fact that it was the second anniversary of her mother's death today. She wants to do something crazy to forget all the pain. Well, since you put it that way, Jen has no choice but to agree. They arrives at the party with her brother Riley in tow. Mia makes a concerted effort to fit into this kind of social gathering, but she, who is already unpopular at school, felt even more awkward here. Life's a strife for the socially shy. Gotta bloom in social sky. Daniel also arrives at the party. To ease the awkwardness, Mia goes in for a direct hug. Mia's personality is indeed quite quirky. Soon, Mia's eagerly anticipated talk to me begins. All you have to do is light a candle, hold onto the ceramic hand, and say, talk to me to summon the spirit. Then, follow it up with I give you permission to come inside, and the ghost will possess someone. When the host asks who wants to try first, Mia immediately raises her hand. Her action draws everyone's attention, and Mia enjoys the feeling of being noticed and accepted. Oh, and there are two crucial rules for the game. First, participants have to be tied to a chair to prevent any uncontrollable situations. Second, possession time can't exceed 90 seconds. Otherwise, the ghost will take over the participant's body. It's a simple game, just giving the ghost a brief chance to take over a human body. Ah, such a group of foolish, oh no, adventurous humans. The game is officially kicking off, and everyone is taking out their phones to start recording. Mia, trembling, reaches out her hand and said,
talk to me.
Suddenly, a decaying ghost appears before her. Startled, she quickly withdraws her hand, and the onlookers can't help but burst into laughter, encouraging her to try again. Amid their teasing, she extends her hand once more. This time, she sees the apparition of a drowned woman. The gruesome sight makes her uncomfortable, but she grits her teeth, overcoming her fear, and utters the words, I give you permission to come inside. As soon as she speaks, an invisible force rushes towards her. Her head tilts back, her pupils dilate, and Mia's body is possessed by the ghost. With large, black pupils, she surveys the crowd. Everyone, except Jed, is enjoying the spectacle. Mia quickly locks eyes with Riley, giving him a creepy smile and pointing, saying, they like you and want to tear you apart. The possession clock is ticking at 83 seconds, and everyone wants to help her end it, but she's gripping the ceramic hand too tightly, unable to break free. In a frenzy, she shouts at Riley, run. Everyone is spooked, working together to pry the ceramic hand from her grip and blowing out the candle. However, this time the seance has gone beyond 90 seconds, and Mia's condition looks dire. People are a bit scared, uncertain of what might happen, but quickly, Mia regains her composure. The first words she utters while lifting her head are, amazing. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief and cheers for her. Mia is basking in the embrace of the crowd. However, 14-year-old Riley, experiencing this for the first time, can't help but feel scared. Seeking comfort at night and getting mocked, he turns to Mia in the living room, and Mia, who loves being needed, readily agrees. During their bedtime chat, they discussed Mia's mother's cause of death. Her mother died from an overdose of sleeping pills, with her father sleeping on the couch, oblivious. Mia's mother tried to scratch the door for help, but her father didn't hear. When her mother's body was found, there were wood shavings under her nails. Since then, Mia's mental state hasn't been good. Riley asked if she had depression, but she didn't admit it, just feeling a bit lonely. Soon, Riley fell asleep, and Mia patted his head. But wait, a decaying hand reached out, taking advantage. Has Mia's body already been possessed by a ghost at this point? Let's keep reading to find out. The next day, Mia suggests playing the game at Jed's house again. It seems she's addicted. This time, the first to try is Daniel. He collapses and convulses after being possessed by a perverted ghost. The pet dog, curious about the commotion, approaches, only to be embraced and kissed by Daniel. Turns out, this is what they call a licking dog. 90 seconds are up. They removes the ceramic hand and blows out the candle. Daniel, regaining consciousness, pleads with everyone to delete the recent video, but no one pays him any attention. Frustrated, he storms out of the room. Just as Jed is about to express her anger at the excessive play, Mia raises her hand and says, "I still want to play." Jed can only helplessly watch as everyone takes turns experiencing the peculiar thrill of 90 seconds. This sparks the curiosity of the onlooking Riley, but Jed sternly intervenes, leading to a heated argument between the siblings. Jed storms off in anger. The only rational person in the room is left, and it seems things are about to get even more bizarre. The scene unfolds as Mia, unable to bear seeing Riley upset, reluctantly agrees to let him play for 50 seconds. Thinking the short time would pose no danger, Mia is stunned when the spirit possessing Riley speaks. It turns out to be Mia's mother summoned this time. Although the 50 seconds pass, Mia hesitates to stop the game, wanting to chat a bit more with her mother. Touching reunion between mother and daughter makes everyone forget the passing time. When the 90 seconds are up, Riley's body is completely taken over by the spirit. He starts banging his head on the table and even attempts to gouge out his own eyeballs. It's only then that they remember to pull away the ceramic hand, but Riley is already beyond control. Hearing the commotion, Jed rushes in. Riley is about to slam his head into the cabinet corner, and Jed intervenes just in time, separating the ceramic hand from Riley. He loses consciousness, and they call an ambulance. However, they choose to conceal the true cause of the accident. With things taking a turn for the worse, Mia has no choice but to return home. The relationship with her father remains awkward, and after conversing with her mother's spirit, she even suspects that her father has been hiding the truth about her mother's death. Without giving her father a chance to explain, Mia retreats to her room. In an attempt to see her mother again, she slyly steals the ceramic hand. Later, Mia goes to the hospital to visit Riley but is blocked at the door. Losing her best friend, she feels even more helpless. At this moment, the ghostly figure of her mother appears again, chasing it to the bathroom. Mia finds nothing, and in her sadness, she hides in the stairwell, crying. Daniel notices her distressed state and suggests taking her home. Back at Mia's place, she pleads with him to stay, and Daniel reluctantly engages in a conversation with her. Mia firmly believes that the ghost appearing today is her mother, but Daniel is skeptical. He thinks ghosts are cunning and play tricks, stating, "They know a lot about you, but you know nothing about them." As they chat, Mia tries to get closer, seeking warmth, but Daniel maintains a certain distance. Eventually, they fall asleep in an awkward position. Mia dreams of an intimate moment with Daniel, but as she lifts her head, she sees the moment her father discovered her mother's death, startling her awake. At that moment, a peculiar ghost crawls out of the corner. Let's call her Quentin Ghost because she crawls on all fours. She crawls to bed, clutching Daniel's feet and begins sucking on them. Looking oddly engrossed, Mia, on the side, screams in terror. Daniel opens his eyes, but in his view, it's Mia sucking on his own foot. Daniel gives her a swift kick. "Oh, shit, my ex-girlfriend and my current girlfriend's friend secretly licking my feet in the middle of the night." He panics, grabs his clothes, and makes a run for it. Mia realizes she has been possessed again, losing another confidant. To escape the overwhelming feeling of breakdown, she takes out the ceramic hand once more, sincerely hoping to see her mom again. Her wish is granted. Mom tells her two things. 1, she didn't commit suicide, and 2, Riley needs help. This time, Mia doesn't time the spirit communication. Instead, she enters the realm of dreams, clutching the ceramic hand. At this point, Riley's condition in the hospital continues to deteriorate, uncontrollably engaging in self-harming behaviors. In an effort to save Riley, the group that originally participated in the spirit communication gathers to brainstorm solutions. Someone mentions the previous owner of the ceramic hand, Dakota, the boy who committed suicide at the beginning of the film. His still-living brother might know something. They find him at a bus stop, and he reveals that Dakota went mad because he was possessed by a spirit. Once a spirit possesses someone, it won't rest until it gets a soul. Jed, learning about this, is devastated and blames Mia for everything. Feeling guilty, Mia comes up with a plan. If they let Riley play the game again, and the spirit possesses him, maybe they can send both spirits away once and for all. Although it sounds absurd, there are no other options. Unfortunately, the unconscious Riley is too weak to hold the ceramic hand, so Mia has to do it herself. This time, she summoned a little girl who helped her enter the realm of the dead, where she saw Riley's soul being tormented by a group of evil spirits. This corresponds to what Mia said when she was first possessed by the ghost. The spirits like Riley's body and wanted to tear him apart. Back in reality, Mia broke down. She knew Riley couldn't be saved. He was being tortured just like the dying kangaroo on the road. In a daze, Mia returns home, and her father stops her. He hands her a letter, her mother's suicide note. It turns out, her mother took her own life due to depression. Hearing the contents of the letter, they embrace and weep together. However, at that moment, the ghost of her mother appears again and tells Mia it's a lie. The person in front of her claiming to be her father is also a ghost in disguise. Only by killing him can she set him free. Shocked, Mia returns to her room, but her father bursts in. His face turns terrifying, and he starts attacking Mia. Upon hearing her screams, the real father rushes upstairs. Just like Daniel warned, the ghost is pretending to be Mia's mother and has been deceiving her. Mia chooses to fight back, injuring the one trying to console her, her real father. Completely swayed by the ghost, after helping her father find release, she decides to go and help Riley. She calls Jed, telling her about a way to save Riley, and asks her to come over immediately. After keeping Jed occupied, Mia goes to the hospital, only to see Riley in the form of an evil spirit. Despite this, she can't bring herself to harm him. At that moment, she sees the image of the kangaroo from that night, and gets an idea. Meanwhile, Jed, arriving at Mia's house, discovers Mia's injured father. Realizing something is wrong, she calls for help and rushes back to the hospital, just in time to see Mia wheeling Riley towards the highway. The whispers of her mother in Mia's ears drown out any other voices. Just then, the ghost says, "We will always have him." These words make Mia realize something is amiss. Jed arrives, and Mia, in that moment, "Let's go!" A figure tumbles onto a speeding car. As the camera zooms out, we see Mia lying in the middle of the road. Despite her severe injuries, Mia managed to rise again. From her perspective, we witness the rescue of Riley, and in the moment she turns away, time seems to stretch. She appears in the hospital, observing Riley's recovery and preparation for discharge. As she wanders the corridor, she spots her father and tries to call out, but her cries go unheard. The lights dim, and she hears the striking of a match. In the distance, a bright light emerges along with an outreached hand. As she reaches for it, she realizes she has become part of another group engaged in a seance. Mia is now a connected spirit in the afterlife. Story concludes here. This has been the most uniquely captivating horror film experience for me this year. It truly provided a soul-stirring encounter that was different from the rest. The directors, the self-made internet sensation brothers, Philip, transitioned from YouTube to the big screen, injecting a refreshing vitality into the horror genre. Beyond the facade of a typical horror film, they unveil the inner world of a troubled young girl's psyche, someone struggling to manage her emotions with no apparent outlet for release. The malevolent spirits she encounters represent the dark facets of the world of psychiatric patients. And Talk to Me serves not only as a seance phrase but also as a healing remedy for the inner turmoil of those grappling with depression. That's a wrap for today's show, folks. We are Zombie Cats. If you're into the spooky stuff, hit that subscribe and be a cool cat.